Sorry, Mina, we cannot hear. You are mute.
We have to unmute her, Kempo. Hold on 1 second, please. Okay, Sharmina, you can speak. You can talk now.
All mother sentient beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in a state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All my descendant beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in the state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. All my descendant beings, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience, may they experience happiness, be separated from suffering, and swiftly I will establish them in a state of unsurpassed, perfect, complete, and precious Buddhahood. Thus, until I achieve enlightenment, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. Until that, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. From now until this time tomorrow, I perform virtuous deeds with body, speech, and mind. We take refuge in the kind, root, good Lama and lineage Lamas. We take refuge in the deities of the mandalas of the Yidams. We take refuge in all the exalted Buddhas. We take refuge in the perfect Dharma. We take refuge in the excellent order of the Sanghas. We take refuge in all the noble Dakas, Dakini, and Dharma guardians, possessors of the eye of wisdom. We take refuge in the kind root Lama. We take refuge until I attain the heart of enlightenment. I take refuge in all the Buddhas. I take refuge in the Dharma, and likewise in the assembly of the Bodhisattvas. As the precious Buddhas embrace the enlightened mind and progress on the Bodhisattva path, I, too, for the benefit of all sentient beings, give birth to bodhicitta and apply myself to accomplish the stages of the path. Sangye sodang soki sonam lang, zanjuk badu dak di kap suci, dagi jin sok kibe sonam ki, dola pensik sangye dupa sok. In the Buddha, Dhamma, manam kadang nyampe senten tamce dewa dang dewe, kyudang dempar kyujik, dugal dang dugal ki kyudang dawar kyujik, dugal dang bidawa kyujik, nyering sadang jidang drawe tanyom la nepar kyusi. I bow down respectfully with my body, speech, and mind, and faithful mind to all Tathagatas in the 10 directions, those who have already reached the Tathagata stage, those who are resisted at present, and those Tathagatas still to come. Through the power of Samatha Brother's prayers, may all Buddhas manifest vividly in my mind. I prostrate to them, multiplying my body as many times as they are atoms of the earth. In each atom, I visualize as many Buddhas as there are atoms, surrounded by countless Bodhisattvas. Thus, all space is filled with Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. I praise all Buddhas through magnificent chanting, expressing the great ocean of their excellent qualities. To all Buddhas, I make offerings of various pure flowers, flower garlands of music, anointed oils, magnificent light, and fragrance incense. I make offerings to them of fine garments, perfume, and potpourri high as Mount Meru, and arranged in the most beautiful way. I visualize the highest and most extensive offerings and offer them with great faith to all Buddhas. I proceed to the Buddhas and make offerings to them, following the deeds of the great Bodhisattva Samattabhadra. I confess to you, Buddhas, whatever negative actions I have committed due to the power of anger, desire, and ignorance, I rejoice in the merit of all the Buddhas in the 10 directions of the great Bodhisattvas and Practcie Buddhas, those who have attained arhatship, those who have entered the path of arhatship, and all other beings. I request to all great protectors and Buddhas to turn the highest will of Dharma as the light dispelling the darkness of beings in the 10 directions and leading them gradually to the enlightened states. I supplicate those Buddhas intending to pass into the parinirvana to live long for as many eons as there are atoms of the earth in order to benefit all beings. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostration, offerings, confession, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings, all these I dedicate. The ground is sprinkled with scented water and strewn with flowers. It is adorned with Meru, the spring mountain, the 4 continents, and the sun and the moon. As a Buddha field, I offer it. May all sentient beings attain the happiness of the Buddha fields. To the Lama who possess the Trikayas, I offer the outer, inner, and secret offerings with my body, wealth, and all that is visible. Please grant me the supreme realization, enlightenment. Whatever merit I have gathered through prostration, offerings, confessing, rejoicing, beseeching, and praying for the sake of the enlightenment of all sentient beings. All these I dedicate. Om Guru Ratna Mandala Puja Mega Samudra Saparana Samaye Om. Unequal refuge, ornaments of the world. Your fame pervades the 3,000 worlds. You are the victor, Vajradhara, without a doubt. I bow at the feet of the Father, Jinten Sumgon. Continually, I think of no one but you. Compassionate one, grant your blessing. Dispel the darkness that surrounds my heart. Please bless me so that I can realize the unelaborated nature of mind. Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the two vehicles and their combination according to the disposition and likewise the mental capacities of sentient beings. His wisdom is brilliant like the sun, free of the clouds of the two veils, and perceive the various types of knowledge in their true nature. For this reason, he holds the wisdom text at his heart. He has compassion for all beings who suffer from the darkness of ignorance in the prison of samsara. As a father for an only son, like a thunderclap, he awakens those who are sleeping in ignorance and loosens the chains of karma. Tempola, please, going up through the 60 branches of harmonious speech. He wields the wisdom sword to cut the slitting of suffering and to dispel the darkness of confusions. In the Bodhisattva form, he is pure forms. He is pure from beginner's time, fully accomplished in the 10 levels and perfect in the body of all knowledge. I supplicate you, Manjushri, adorned by the 112 signs of a Buddha, to dispel the darkness of my ignorance. Om Wangishwari Mum, Om Wangishwari Mum, Om Wangishwari Mum, Om Wangishwari Mum, Om Wangishwari Mum. Om Wangishwari Mum, Om Wangishwari Mum, 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 Wangishwari Mum. Om Wangishwari Mum, 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 Wangishwari Mum. Om Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum. Om Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum, Wangishwari Mum. Om Apa Pacana Diom Parapacana Diom Parapacana Diom Parapacana Diom Parapacana Diom Om Parasana Diom Parapacana Diom Parapacana Diom Parapacana Diom Parapacana Diom Parapacana Diom Parapacana Om Parapacana Diom Parapacana Diom Parapacana Diom Parapacana Diom. Thank you, King Paul. Thank you all, Shaman.
Thank you, Sarmina. You who are the perfect youthful body, whose flame of wisdom blesses, and dispel the darkness of worldly ignorance, are posted before you in the press to Manjushri. Yune Gulin Changwa Bo Yishi Rome Rabden Bar Jiten Demo Minsar Wan Jambara Yang La Sansar Tu. Tangke Duje Shaje Reisen Rong Yenje Mado Deje Bongjong Ba Serje Lambo Tavre Jibe Shaje Jarbe Shala Ge Sanser Yagara Penchen Bola Gadenje Beman Yone Galan Den Ada Lano Zimbe Ganon Ze Orjin Rumbo Chela Zorwan De Rome Dorjen Chanjin Delo Naro Dan Dorjen Chanjin Delo Naro Dan Marba Mula Chije Gambo Pa Pamo Trupa Jarwan Digong Kaju Lama Namla Zorwan De Rome Chije Yenje Bobdang Te Som Sanje Genje Ngowo Nye Ransem Chige Ngonsong Dongze Be Sabe Lame Shabla Zorwan Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, evening. Thank you for coming to teaching. So the sadhana today we're using is daily practice of the exerted Avalokeshwara. So you can get this sadhanas in the website, I think, in the shared chat rooms. This sadhana we have together, English, Tibetan, Chinese, all together, so it's very good. Today we're going to do share this a little bit teaching and then practice with soul offering. Then we do the dedication prayer. Dedication prayer is in this sadhana together. So very easy all together. So this sadhana, the first part is always opening prayers. We already done all the opening prayers. So exactly same what we did in the opening prayer. Now we go to the page 7. Page 7, we chant these prayers together. Beseech the great Vajradhara, Telopa, Naropa, Marpa, Nalarepa, Gambopa, Pamotropa, Lord Jigdin Sumgo. At the feet of the Ru Guru, who possesses the 3 ways of kindness and all the Ru Gurus and the spiritual master of the lineage, the Yadams and the Dharma protectors, may you marvelous blessings permit my mind. So we chant this Tibetan. Dorjen Changwa de lo naro dang marme da bo pa zhen je den gong da zhen som den za ve la me sha sa je la ma ye dan chi song la Sorwan devzo da ju zinji lo. So this is the Chenrezig sadhana. This Chenrezig sadhana we use actually, I think similar same could be in our daily deity yoga sadhana. It's very short. Chenrezig means sadhana. Then this means sadhana, of course, always have a, take refuge to the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and the three rules. So in this sadhana, first is like say Namo to the Guru, the three jewels, the Yadam, deity, and the Dharma protectors. So is take refuge to the Guru and the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, also Yadam deity, and then Dharma protectors. So generally, like take refuge to Buddha, Dharma, Sangha. Then specifically Vajrayana tradition, take refuge to the three roots. So three roots also, of course, in the Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and then the three roots is included actually Dakini or these Dharma protectors too. So I and others go for refuge under enlightenment. So we take refuge ourselves and also visualize, we meditate, all beings taking refuge to with us. And all beings under the Buddha Dharma protection. So then after that is called mind generations to liberate all beings from samsara ocean of suffering. I will make effort to the generation stage, completion stage, and the mantra recitation of the Supreme Arya Avalokiteshvara. So this is called bodhicitta mind. We create our receiving also, taking bodhisattva vow too. So if we already have taught bodhisattva vow, and then every single day we can retake again and again. So maintaining our, bodhisattva vow. Bodhisattva vow is different than, bodhicitta is different than usually, other way, the generally worldly and many religion thinking. This is more beyond in that. The bodhicitta actually they don't have, of course, other religions, and even Hinayana tradition, they don't have this bodhicitta mind. So, love, compassion, we recognize many other religion has, but bodhicitta only specifically Mahayana tradition. Then of course Vajrayana is part of actually Mahayana. So that's why here see to liberate all beings. Bodhicitta means not only want to help something in the worldly samsara, not only kindness action in the samsara, within in samsara worldly activity. So bodhicitta means like I liberate all beings, means I wanted to liberate every single being free from samsara. So bodhisattvas recognize all samsaric beings are suffering in samsara. So that's why Buddha already mentioned very clearly, defect of samsara. Samsara is a suffering. Doesn't matter, which realms we take birth. We have some higher realm has a temporary happiness, but no one free from suffering. So whatever we have in the within in samsara, only temporary benefit. So that's why it's Bodhisattva's goal is liberation, not only, something like temporarily focus benefit in the within in samsara. Okay, so that's we have to understand. That's the reason, Buddha Shakyamuni is also scientist. We can say he's the first scientist in the world. But he didn't create anything for worldly things. The reason is because everything is temporary. It's sometimes like you create worldly things, some levels benefit, but some levels harm for others. It's nothing is perfect there. So that's why we talk about worldly samsara. Nothing is 100%, positive quality there. So can be 50-50, can be 60 is great, but 40% is not good, Can be 70% is really good, but can be 30% is harm for others. So that's why whatever talk about in the worldly things, no benefit for liberation. So also the worldly, if Buddha talk about these worldly things, then sometimes like temporarily happiness, but then go longer run is causes of suffering. So that's the reason Buddha never focus for the worldly, create things. So right now, scientists create many things like in the world, such as like airplane, car, and many use the technology where and create. But Buddha has true omniscient wisdom. He recognized, he understands. That's why he already talked about, interdependent. Everything is possible. Everything is, long as you know how to create, like everything is possible. Because everything is interdependent, nothing is a permanent, inherently truly exists there. So that's, very clearly we understand. Then Buddha, he all focus 100%, every single what he does action through the body, through the speech, through the mind, all focus for liberation, free from samsara. They wanted to have other beings. So then, of course, according to the individual level. So, he have to guide. As Buddha has a big responsible for all samsara beings. So that's why he shares so many diversity teachings. And according to the dispositions and the mental level capacity, each single being. He cannot share directly to the no-draw, Dzogchen and the Mahamudra teaching for everyone. So that's the reason, according to individual level, have to share different level Dharma teachings. So that's we have to know, so to liberate all beings from samsara, all king of suffering. So that's called the bodhicitta. Their intention, no any other religion has, even not Buddhist, even in the Buddhist, like under Mahayana level, they don't have this intention. So we have love and compassion, some levels, but this makes totally different than, Mahayana and Hinayana tradition too. So Bodhisattvas, always wanting to liberate other beings. So that's also in another case, like level. Hinayana tradition is called self-liberation. Self-liberation means I wanted to liberate because I don't want to stuck in samsara. Samsara is a suffering. So who feel that very strongly, want seeking liberation. So does it matter which kind of belong to lineage or tradition, but that person is called Hinayana tradition. Okay. So we cannot follow the tradition. This is have to follow by the individual person, mental state. intention. Otherwise, it's sometimes complicated because we Mahayana followers push down Hinayana tradition. There's Mahayana followers think I am Mahayana, Hinayana is a lower vehicle, so that is misunderstood and then incorrect too. Yeah, so that's the reason. This we cannot say all the Tibetan Buddhists is Vajrayana because I can be sometimes Hinayana tradition. Sometimes I have good intentions arise, so that time I feel it's a Mahayana. But mostly I am, I'm Hinayana. But I share teaching is Vajrayana because I believe that, very powerful teaching. Yeah. So that's why, ourselves, we are also within these three yanas, like maybe within 24 hours. Sometimes we are Hinayana, sometimes we are Mahayana, sometimes we are Vajrayana. So when you have this intention, we are Mahayana. When you meditate no draw, or you see all forms as Buddha's form, hearing song is the mantra, or thoughts you taking into the, transform to the Dharmakaya, then that moment you are Vajrayana tradition. So that's why, this all three yana is, we have to recognize everything is like within ourselves. We cannot say I am Vajrayana, Mahayana, Hinayana, because it's always a change. So that's my understanding, so then see, this intention is not easy to arise because we have attached to samsara. We don't really recognize 100% samsara is a suffering. Most people still attached to samsara. So someone who has a very strong renunciation, then they wanted to liberate, but they're still only thinking about I want liberation. They don't think that much for everyone is suffering in samsara. So I want to liberate every single being. Then that's called become Mahayana, arise. Then see, I will make effort to the generate stage. So now, see, bodhicitta has two different levels. It's aspiring bodhicitta, engaging bodhicitta, right? So aspiring, I wanted to help others. So that's the first one. So aspiring bodhicitta. So no action bodhicitta, engaging bodhicitta. So engaging, then I will make effort in the generation stage. So meditate, practice Chenrezig today. Completion stage. And meditate Mahamudra. And the mantra recitation of the Spirit Arya Avalokeshwara. So I want to practice Arya Avalokeshwara. So that one thing to do is called aspiring bodhicitta, but withdrawing is called engaging bodhicitta. So you wanted to join the teaching today and wanted to practice Chenrezig, it's called aspiring bodhicitta. Why I wanted to join today Chenrezig practice? Because we recognize in this world has so much suffering beings, and like couple of weeks days ago also in Turkey and Syria has big earthquake, so many people dead, and the Ukraine-Russia war, and so many people dying, suffering. Then also due to coronavirus, so many people suffering. So we recognize this all suffering. I wanted to do something for them, So that's a call. Then aspiring bodhicitta. Then you come into the zone today. You listening, teaching, you engaging through your body, speech, mind. It's called engaging bodhicitta. Okay. So this true bodhicitta we need when we practice the Dharma. So then also, Dharma practitioner helping other beings and worldly people helping other beings is a little different. What a little different means, worldly, like people don't know the Dharma. Of course, they do something like, action, like through the body, speech, mind, maybe engaging something physically, activity, like giving generosity. Or, you do something, support whatever you can. So that's the word delivery kindness, very important. Then meditator practitioner, not only always focus that, meditator practitioner focus for, this practice. Practice is like generation stage, completion stage, mantra recitation. So here talking about practice avalokeshwara. So you doing this all the dharma practice is a support for others. So that's the do the dedication practice. So that's most important for our job is. That's why we created this program in this Saturday, Sunday. Reason I share many also monthly. This the Bardo teaching. So then also we have to practice use Chenrezig. Chenrezig we recognize how important, especially people who not really deeper level practitioners. Deeper level practitioner, I mean, like someone has Vajra Yogini or secret level, Tantra teaching, or have a Dzogchen Mahamudra realizer, realization, Yadam deity practitioner. They are okay. They are not suffering in the Pardo. They can liberate themselves in the Pardo. But generally, people stuck in the Pardo, so much fear and frightening, suffering. So then Chenrezig is all the embodiment of Buddha's compassion, form body. So that's why we use this Chenrezig practice. It's be with like our compassion. Our compassion is limited, very small, tiny. So we practice Chenrezig. Our compassion limited is like be with unlimited compassion. Our limited compassion is immeasurable compassion. Be with So that's the using the special practice means. We have to understand why sometimes people think why we have to practice Chenrezig. Okay, we don't have immeasurable compassion. That's why we have to practice Chenrezig. Chenrezig is a form body of immeasurable compassion, all the enlightened beings. And our compassion can be like in this cup of water. Okay. So here, right now where I'm here is weather is very hot, dry. Okay, this water is easily going to dry up. Not going to stay too long. If I leave it like this outside, maybe stay only a couple of days. It's gone. So our compassion is limited because we are in the stuck samsara. We get all this, suffering problems, dealing with the samsara, and these negative emotions easily dry our compassion. It's gone. So that's the reason in this cup of water, put in the ocean, never going to dry up. The sun cannot dry up the ocean. So same, we use this special object, power, and practice. So then that, our limited compassion is joined with together in unmeasurable compassion. Use that power and then practice is more powerful, more benefit. Negative emotions cannot destroy the practice power. So that's the reason we have to practice the Chenrezig. And so now here, almost Sobhavashida, Savadama Sobhavashida is like always the same, this generation stage, going to generation stage. Generation stage, this mantra is actually Buddha Shakyamuni mantra, sometimes they're called. But main point is this mantra is interdependent. Everything's emptiness. Nothing's truly exists. So we're going to practice Chenrezig. We're always thinking about I and the self. Then chanting prayer, not that much powerful. Of course, has a benefit. Some levels create a karmic imprints, and the different levels according to our capacity can benefit. but not very high, deeper level, not beneficial. So that's why here, so Bhavashida, this mantra, when we chant this, recognize our form is emptiness. The emptiness, see, from the state of emptiness, my own consciousness appears as White Sur. See, the within emptiness, we visualize the first syllable, White Sur syllable. So that White Sur syllable is representative of our consciousness. It transforms into my service Arya Avalokeshwara. We transform our service to Chenrezig. That means we visualize the Chenrezig. First, we have to just destroy this ordinary form, destroy, sometimes we say purify or transformed. Whatever we say, this ordinary form is transformed, have to, through the Chenrezig form body. Chenrezig form is emptiness. Emptiness is a form is emptiness. That's why we chant this mantra, recognize our form is emptiness. Everything is all phenomena is emptiness. Within the emptiness, first syllable arise. The first syllable is become representative of our consciousness, mind, and then transform to the Chenrezig form body. So now we are Chenrezig. Then Chenrezig with one face, 4 arms, and 2 legs, sitting in the Vajra posture. So he has, the same image we have. So this 4 arm is representative for measurable, okay? And he hold this in the wish fulfilling jiva in the heart is called representative bodhicitta. So Chenrezig is embodiment of 4 measurable embodiment of the bodhicitta. So bodhicitta is the same as wish fulfilling jiva. Long as bodhicitta arise within our mind, then we are become wish fulfilling jiva, true wish fulfilling jiva. Avalokeshwara's body is brilliantly white and smiling peacefully with an expression of compassion. The palm of the 2 lower hands are joined at the heart center, and the 2 upper hands hold a custard mala and a white lotus flowers. So the first, joined are already explained, bodhicitta. So this second one, 2 upper hands hold the custard is like liberating every single beings. Mala means like liberating beings one by one. And white lotus flower is the Chenrezig emanations take birth to every single being's realms. I mean, every realms he take birth and liberating other beings. So Chenrezig is free from obstacles. And even take emanations birth in the samsara, but free from samsara's obstacle. That's representative. Then it's wearing skirts, slacks, and jewels. I am drawn with the major and the minor marks. Chenrezig is a Sambhona form. So that's why only you reach some certain levels through your realization, then you can connect with the Chenrezig. You can directly dialogue with Chenrezig. I mean, you can ask question, talk with Chenrezig. Sambhona form is not ordinary people can perceive. Okay, Sambhona these forms could be always with us, long as you supplicating, pray, is with us, but we don't recognize, we don't see. There are many, many example stories there too. And then Chenrezig, Varjapane, Manjushri, Tara, all this is a Sambhona form. The emanation is billions emanations go to samsara and liberate other beings. But emanation is called Nirmanakaya form. So if we have ability to recognize, some people recognize, we can see them. But if long as we know, sometimes we don't know who's the emanation, okay? The Sambhona form is, we cannot see them because Sambhona form is empty, it's form. It's only, see the energy, like compassion is arise from the Chenrezig. So Manjushri is wisdom is arise from is Manjushri. So that's why we don't have ability to recognize, as long as we don't have a, Bodhisattva level compassion, true Bodhisattva level compassion, we cannot directly see the Chenrezig. So you have absolute true knowledge, wisdom, then you can directly see the Manjushri. Many, the Nalanda University, the scholar, master, directly talking with the Chenrezig and directly talking with the Manjushri, because they are very high level realized. That's why these scholars practice Manjushri, some scholars practice Chenrezig, and then they have stories. These scholars, like always debating, fighting, kind of like, verbally fighting, but not emotionally fighting, okay? For the debating. And then some these scholars use Pentita, Nalanda University Pentita scholar use Manjushri. Then they don't know the answer. They ask Manjushri helping them. Some ask Chenrezig helping them. So that's kind of, like many stories. And I don't remember exactly which is, the scholar, and they're two debating. One is use Manjushri, one is use Chenrezig. They're debating laws. And then one day, other scholar come into the other scholar's room, and so he see the Chenrezig teaching him to like how to debate for others. So actually, he used himself as a Manjushri, and then he saw the like Chenrezig. He said, "You are the Pakpa means like you are noble being." He said, "You are noble being. You cannot have bias." Then Chenrezig stopped like this finger and arise this become the statue there. So that's also story there too, in the Nalanda University has the stories. You understand, right? These two scholars debating, one used Manjushri, one used Chenrezig. And one day, like who used the Manjushri, he think why he can give all the answers, other scholar. He went into the other's room checking, Then he see the Chenrezig teaching him. So then he said, "You are noble being, you cannot have bias." So he asked that question to Chenrezig. Chenrezig is like become post like this arise statue. So that means like the Bodhisattva has directly, perceived this Bodhisattva, like the Sambhogakaya forms. Ordinary people cannot receive that. So now it's Chenrezig is a Sambhogakaya form. Seated on a moon seat, there is a white arm, red eye, and blue horn at my three places. So then seated the moon disk, and like we, visualize Om, Ah, Hong, this three syllable, Om, Ah, Hong's representative, Buddha's body, speech, and mind. So we can say like enlightened body, speech, and mind. Like that is from this and inward to the wisdom deity. So then like that is on our home, go to pure lane. And we inviting the 5 Buddhas, enlightened beings, we inviting. And empowerment deity who arrive in the space in front. So then we visualize this 5 Buddha in front of us. So that's 5 Buddhas we call the, empowerment deities. So then we have to chant this mantra on Arya Lokeshoras, on Arya Lokeshora Sarva Tatangata Saparavara Sarva Punja Tratitsaya Soha. That is the offering, and then this is the praise to the 5 Buddha, to all who are worthy of praise, are born with us many bodies. So worthy is like every all enlightened beings, we prostration to them. Actually, who has a compassion, who has a love, we prostration to them because they are noble beings. So their beings are, worthy of praise. Like we can praise to them, we can bow down them. Are born with us many bodies. As the particles in the land. So, and continuously make praise with the highest faith. So we very strongly, through the devotion, praise to the five Buddha and all the enlightened beings. And mentally, we create these bodies multiple millions and prostration to the Buddha and enlightened beings. So this sadhana is very short. That's why one sentence has many meanings. Long sadhana, each meaning has like 1 page, 2 pages. So even this is short sadhana, but everything is included. First is like reduce our ego and jealousy. See, long as we have a jealousy, we don't want to talk about our hatred one's quality. And that's the reason you press to the enlightenment, the directly purify many eons negative karma, our created by the, jealousy, negative karma purified. The mentally, this prostration also you can do physically prostration. Prostration subduing our ego. So due to the ego emotion, we create many negative karma, many lifetimes. So all this negative karma we purify when we do the prostrations. That's what we have to understand. Using these enlightened beings support. So then we purify our negative karma, and we can represent our loved ones. We can represent all mother sentient beings. Purify their negative karma. So that's why today, we have to think about people who die in the earthquake, people who die in the war, people who die in the disease. Then not only that, every single day people die, and many people, die, airplane crash, or airplane, accident die, some car accident die. So many different ways die. Then not only human beings, many animals die every single day. So then we human beings eat every single day billions of animals. So they die. So we think about them and create good intention, love, compassion, and actually using that energy, the energy liberating us. That's why, we need love and compassion, not easy to arise. So that's the reason we have to cultivate the suffering beings. So you see the suffering beings, then compassion, love arise. Then bodhicitta, of course, like love is a cause, compassion is a result. Compassion is a cause, right? Bodhicitta is a result. So when you have a strong negative, force or negative influence in the world, we have to use that energy, have to practice. Then that become very powerful and effective, that practice for us. So that's the reason, when we lose our loved ones, we have very strong feeling. So then that time you use, your practice. It's very powerful. Okay. So otherwise, other days, like you don't have that strong feeling, then your practice is not really go more deeper level. So that's why, when you have very strong feeling and arising within your mind, so you use the energy, practice is more powerful. So when we see, this due to earthquake, many people die, right? So many people die due to the earthquake. So we recognize that so many people suffering, lose all the homes, everything, whatever created in this life, work so hard in this life. So one moment lose everything. See, we feel that energy and the suffering, then we use practice more powerful. And we recognize that the war, in so many people die there and hurt and really suffering. cannot imagine, every single night or go through that difficulty and cold weather and not enough food, like so difficulty. So you think that, and then use this, energy, we, create a love compassion practice is very powerful. So that's energy really helps growing our love and compassion. That's the reason we always talk about the suffering. Not happy to talk suffering, but we see the suffering, then love, compassion is we can create, arise. Otherwise, our mind is too tight, so strong, self-grasping ourselves, not easy to love, compassion arise. Very hard to generate love and compassion. So when the world has a problem, sufferings, then we have to use that energy to create love and compassion. So that's why, we in the world always have these problems. When we have problem, we have to use that problem. Then of course, like when we, like spirituals, our gurus passing, so that time also very strong energy we can receive. So that we have to use that energy and to the practice. Okay. So that's we have to understand. So then here is next is the Samaya deity and the wisdom deity merge together indivisibly. Samaya, the wisdom beings dissolve to us, and the Samaya deity is ourselves. Okay. So because we visualize ourselves as Chenrezig, we are Samaya deity, and the wisdom deity is like visualizing all enlightened beings dissolve to us together indivisibly. So that's mantra is called Zahong Bahong, is Samaya deity and the wisdom deity merge together indivisibly. Then the empowerment deity bestow the empowerment, the water from the west first my body. So the water pouring into the water, same is like all the deity is dissolved to empowerment deity is dissolved to us, is receiving the empowerment. Then and the accumulate defilements are purified. So negative or karma is purified. The remaining water flows up. So then, negative karma or purified. Same time we visualize this, nectars falling to in our body, this and purify negative karma. Then nectar fell up to our crown, created the 5 Buddha crown symbols. So from the crown of my head and become a cell of Amitabha, then the empowerment deity also met into me. So, sorry, this a little bit I did a mistake there. When Samaya being and wisdom beings, like we visualize the Chenrezig and many enlightened beings dissolve to us, and the star, we visualize in the 5 Buddha in the space, and the 5 Buddha pouring the water crown and dissolve to ourselves, purify negative karma. The water pour up to in the crown and become 5 crowns. Then these 5 Buddhas dissolve to us. So that's here is the empowerment deity also met into me means. So this is the also mantra is offering Om Beza Argam Pateng Pipi Dipi Alogang and never the Shadatatisa Soha. Your white body is unstained by faults. So why Chenrezig form body is white? White body is unstained by faults. And another also Chenrezig hold the lotus flower. So that's also unstained by faults too. Then perfect Buddha adorned your head. Your gaze open being with the compassion eyes. Chenrezig open eye, looking to all sentient beings. The eye is representative of his compassion. Homage and praise to our Lokeshwara. We homage praise to our Lokeshwara. In my heart center is a moon disk, which is a white shirt. So don't know we visualize the mantra garland, Our heart center is moon disk, and then we visualize the first syllable. And surrounded by the mantra garland of the 6-syllable white and brilliant. It circles clockwise and immeasurable light rays stream forth and provide all realms of the gods, the demons, and the human animals. So the mantra, like that is offering, and like that is purification. So that's a reason, we use this, I think prayer is another reason. So represented with this. So long as you have prayers with your hand, so you always follow this idea. But due to our ignorance or the karmic imprinting habit is so strong, worldly samsara, even we have a prayer in the hand, so we forget this meditation idea is forget. Not easy to bring mind, but that's another reason we using these prayers. Then this hungry spirit and hell beings, this purify all the suffering and obscuration and transform them into Aya Avalokeshwara. So we meditate all beings liberating, become inseparable with Avalokeshwara. Appearing vividly while chanting the mantra, then we chant the mantra. Again, the light stream out and make offering to the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. Gather their compassion, blessing, and the form of 5 color lights and the nectar, which merge into me. So this mantra is always sometimes little slightly different visualization. Some sadhana, first offering, then liberation mantra. So here is the first liberating all 6 round beings suffering, and then also offering and blessing. So the main point is mantra is purification, mantra is chanting liberation, and hearing liberation. So when you chant, the beings here is liberating, called hearing liberation, chanting liberation, and the purification, and mantra is offering to the enlightened beings. So mantra is blessing, enlightened beings blessing we have to receive. Then we visualize or mantra is dissolved to ourselves. So that's the enlightened beings blessing receiving. At the end of the section, visualize that word and being dissolved into me. When you become a light and dissolve into the shell, which is a time become free from reference point. Rest in the state as long as you can, and when a thought appears, think that you again become Arya Avalokeshwara. So then, after that, do dedication and or dissolution. Finish dissolution meditation, then come back to again our form bodies, Chenrezig Avalokeshwara again. So that's the main sadhana, So the next is let there be extra practice there. So first we go back to page 9, please. We're going to chant prayers. Actually, page 8, sorry. So I went through the English already, so now I'm chanting Tibetan, so we can, follow Tibetan, or you can chant the English, Chinese, speaker follow the Chinese. So we going to chant only one time, and you can follow which language you want. Namo Lama Joson Yadan Jison La Sancho Barda Dajin Jabzen Che Drogen Korwa Dongar Jamso Le Dorser Pancho Chizo De Zun Sa Omnes page 9. Om Sobhavai Shuddha Sarva Dharma Sobhavai Shuddha Hom. Onye Mangle Ranre Shakar Po Yonjara Danyen Pagbai Chenrezig Yarche Saje Shamye Dojer Yo Gomdo Cancer Shenzong Yinji Nyam Ambo Sanye Tukar Dajer So Tani Shenchen Pema Karpo Nam Tardan Renjin Senpe Jinden Chor Dave Den Yo Nesong A Hong Kamar Dengle Unchi Yishi Ba Wan Lar Jeken Duke Wan Lar Jekon Denkar Yubar Jo O Arya Loge Jora Tatan Gata Sapara Vara Sarva Punza Tradi Saye Soha Tupa Rupa Domje La Shendar Genje Chani Chi Lidu Paye Namgen Te Chote Bebe Tubar Je Sahong Bahong Dam Ye Yermi Ten Wan Le Wan Gur Pun Chi Ge Gang Shen Zhe Me Zo Dai Che Lai Jin Che Le Jie Wo Wong Zin Jie Da Wan Lam Ten Om Ben Za Ar Gam Ba Den Gebe De Ba Aloge Gende Nevede Shabda Tradi Zaye Zoha. If you have a bear Dhamara, you can use. Sorry about I didn't have it here. Also, you can burn the incense. And when we're going to do the this soul offering, and then that time also you can, if you have the soul powder, you know, soul offering stuff, you if you have, you can use that. Kyungje mage kumdo kar zosan yeje walai jin tuji jinje rolai ze Chenrezig la sanzarar do togarar daten sheye karbun tor ye doing hanjin kalan serve so yesen korwa uzra pamiji la da la meng medain tunro dang Yada Nyane Kincha De Namje Dongar Jepa Kinzan Pagpika Lam Lan Jorde Kinjang Hada Jo Laryang Uje Sanje Sejenju Tugi Sen La Unga Drzye Nambarar Gode Dala Dembarjo Om Mani Beme 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 Om mani padme hum. 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 Mani padme hum. Om mani padme Om mani padme hum. 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 So now we go to the White Sur offering for the providing or pure lanes. I hope you all have this sadhana. So we going to hear first same is opening prayer. We chant this one together 3 times. I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Sangha until enlightenment. Through the merit of my generosity and other perfections, may I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. I take refuge in the Buddha, Dharma, and the Supreme Sangha until enlightenment. Through the merit of my generosity and other perfections, may I attain enlightenment for the benefit of all sentient beings. Sanje jidain zojin jo nam la sancho barde dane jabzen je nai ge jin zo ji be so nam ji ro la ben ser sanje ro bare jo. So page 7 actually so baba shida again. Om Zobawai Shida Zarva Dharmai Zobawai Shida. All phenomena turn into emptiness. In an instant from emptiness. I am in the wisdom form of Jovakasapane, standing with the right hand in the generosity bestowing mudra. In the front is the Buddha Verochana Kanchinso. His wisdom body is completely filled with the pure light. From the crown to the throat are the 3 jewels, the gates of river rings. Like that, from the heart to the navel are the protectors, the gates of noble qualities. In the lower part of the body are the gates of compassion. The lotus seeds are the different kinds of obstacle tractors, karmic creators. Like rays from the 6 syllable at the heart, present offering to the guests of offering and delight them. Generosity is made to the guests of generosity, purifying negativity and obscurations. All 3 realms of cyclic existence become the pure lanes without exception. We chant the Tibetan. Dombe ngangle geje tenzo se ranye jowo gazara bane ge yin da sa yin ju jin jin sarve den de nam bar nam ze gan jin zo ge lai shin gan zo be zo dor ni jin ba yin je gong jo zi yin zhong yin do gar de ve bar do lo gong bo yong de ge me yin jin zhong be den ge re len jai sar wa le tu gar ye ge tu me u zhe ji ju yor nin ze jin yor de zhe jiang康松马里道贝人的就，唵 mani padme hum, Om 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 mani padme hum. So now you can burn if you have the soul offering powders. I'm going to share short here teaching. This teaching is not that easy. So I try, just share some, maybe create more confusions. So you can chant the mantra during this, I'm talking. Keep mantra silently. You can chant Om Mani Padme Hum mentally, or mentally also you can do. So here, just mantra is the same. Om Sobhava Shida is emptiness. We visualize and meditate. Then in our instinct from emptiness, I'm in the wisdom from the Chovo Kasarpane. So this Chenrezig is called Chovo Kasarpane. It's a Chenrezig. Standing, so same is like usually right side of the Buddha Amitabha, Chenrezig, standing with the right hand in the Janarasti bestowing mudra. So it's a Janarasti mudra hand like this way, giving all the Janarasti lower rank beings, feeding. Then, so my text is slightly different or no?
Yes, it's a little bit different, but we just posted the text that you're using, Kempo, so you can continue with that if you like.
I can use other one. So okay, I'll go back to maybe log to the.
I think Daniela just shared this one, Kempo, so I think we're all good.
So we have a Chinese translation, this or no?
Yes, but it's a separate text. It's not trilingual, so.
So then it's okay, long as we have the. So then I use which one?
The one you're using.
Okay. We visualize, okay, so standing Chenrezig, that is actually, of course, we ourselves is a Chenrezig. We can visualize ourselves as a Chenrezig. In the front is the Buddha Verochana Kanchinso. So Buddha Verochana, we visualize the front of us. So this Buddha Verochana is, is 5 Buddha Verochana. Many people know familiarity, the form body. So also according to like different teachings, let us slightly change the form body. So that's why I think you can visualize the Vajrasattva is possible, or you can visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni, easy for you. If you practice a Tara, of course, like which your own Yadam deity, you can visualize the Yadam deity is represented with this Buddha Verochana. That let it be easy for meditator practitioners, more feel comfortable. Then his wisdom body is completely filled with the pure lines. So so his whole body has all the realms. So top crown to and the feet between is the samsara and the nirvana. Also all the different levels, enlightening stages, everything's included. The visualize his body. So that's why see his wisdom body, his form body has completely filled with the pure lines, all the pure lines. So that pure line is top crown as all the pure lines. From the crown to the throat are the 3 jewels, the gas of reverence. So from crown to, so then between here is throat. It's all the enlightened beings. So Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, and all enlightened beings within the between, visualizing. Then his throat and under navel between, like that from the heart to the navel are the protectors, the gates of noble qualities. So that is the, protector or the Dharma protector. This Dharma protector is like wisdom Dharma protectors. And the gates of noble quality means like all the bodhisattvas, dhakas, dhakinis. So who has a, love, who has a compassion, that's then that being is called the noble qualities. So that all we visualize it through and between navel level. Then in the lower part of the body are the gates of compassion. So navel 2 and the sacred level part is all the 6 ram samsaric beings. Part of the body are the gates of the compassion. So then at the lotus seat are the different kind of obstacles, the karmic creators. Then the Buddha's seat, the lotus seat, we visualize our, karmic creator beings means like we have to pay back to the karma. And we own something like specifically. So that beings we visualize in the lotus seats, obstacle the karmic creators. Then also negative beings. So who harming for others, negative beings visualize there. So then leg rest from the 6th syllable at the heart. So we visualize ourselves as a Jokasarpana, Chenrezig, we visualize our hearts, mondis, and then 1st syllable center, and the same is that we chant the main sadhana. So on Manipeme Homes clockwise, like that is saying, present offering to the guests of offering and delight them. So we offering them. Then generosity is made to the guests of generosity, pacify negativities and obscurations. All the realm of cyclic existing become the pure lines without exception. So we offering and also generosity, purify, chant the mantra. All this become lower realm beings. It's become transformed to the pure line. So that's the ultra level we meditate and practice. And this one is go more secret level is a little different. So that's the hardest one, So here is talking about Buddha Vairocana, or his body visualize, and we visualize his body has all this nirvana and the samsara, everything within his body. But truly, within our own body has all this, samsara and the nirvana. So, depending. So when we have emotion, negative emotions, we have a perception is like lower part of body. So that's why we are samsaric beings become. When we have emotions strong, then love and compassion, and the negative is more strong, okay? And the positive enlightening qualities like very small, tiny, maybe not there, maybe small, tiny, like little heat could be. So that time we are in the lower part of body feelings. So that means we have a perception is samsara perception, okay? So ordinary perception. So when you have love and compassion and in your heart, your quality, anger is diminished, attachment is diminished, ignorance is diminished. You're not just 100% purified, but your quality is become very strong spiritual path, and you are become like your level, our level is become arrived to like bodhicitta level, bodhisattva's level. So then we have the experience like heart center here. See, through to navel level is like is the from the heart to navel are the protector guests of noble qualities. So then we have this experience. Okay, so we are Bodhisattva experience, and the power of love, compassion. So we don't have the samsaric, this suffering perception. Then that time, your chakras already opening the heart center and the throat level, the chakras. So this is arise, our perceptions become Bodhisattva perception. So we are Bodhisattva. And then we purify all 100% negative karma, all the emotions purified. Then we have a perception is like throat to crown between is like, enlightened being. We are enlightened. So we are known those states. Then that time we have our own pure land. So that's pure land we visualize in the top of the crown. That means like that is become our own pure land. So that is all is like within our body and our energy perception. Right now, which perception, negative energy is strong. So we have a lower realm, like lower part of body perception is arising. So then, of course, the lower part of body has 6 realms. See, it's more go down, it's like hair realm perception. Then second is a hungry ghost, right? And the third is the animal realm. So that perception is arise. Luckily, we are free from that. But we are not great, not too bad. Human being perception we have. And then, jealousy gods around perception is a very similar human being, but they're still also within in this lower part of body perceptions. So that means like our conscious is perceptions arising from the lower part of body, not the upper part of body. So when you have love, compassion arise and like your perception arise, opening up your chakras in your heart center level, and then we have Bodhisattva perceptions. And then you purify negative karma completely and Buddha's perception. Then you have your own mandala become, then crown is like, we're talking about the pure line is the own mandala. So all this pure line enlightened being to enter lower realm, everything is within our body. So depending which one we open up. Okay. So right now, our just generally perception is human being, lower realm part is body is opening up. So that's why our consciousness is there. The perception is human being. Then you create love and compassion. So power over that, opening up heart chakras, become more Bodhisattva perceptions. And then negative emotion is a subtle level, not the gross level. Our enlightening quality is very high. So that time our perception is at the heart center, through the navel level. And then, like completely purify all these obstacles, enlightening non-door perception. So that's is the main point is here in this teaching. It's very powerful. I mean, included everything in within that state. So now when we do this practice, it's like offering to enlightening beings, use enlightening beings, power and liberating these lower realm perceptions. Yeah. So then when we go to in this teaching, the talk about the difference there. Some is like obstacle to the Vajrayana practice. Obstacle or broken Samaya Vajrayana. So that Samaya is the obstacle to the opening up in your no-door state. So that's why we confession to the Vajrayana deities. why we cannot have a perception, this non-door, Vajrayana experience, why we don't have that experience, because due to our this broken samaya and Vajrayana perceptions, and the obstacles block that state. And then talk about bodhisattva level, like we confession to the all these bodhisattvas. So we confessing bodhisattva vow. The reason is because why we cannot have experience this throat and the navel level between, due to the bodhisattva vow brokens and not enough bodhisattva bodhicitta, and that's the reason we don't have this karmic imprints perceptions. And so the emotion, due to that obstacle, we don't have bodhisattva perceptions through to never between, yeah. And why we have this in the lower realm perceptions, because we are not lower realm but 6 realm perceptions, we are within in the 6 realms. We have that karmic imprint perceptions, but can be go wrong more lower. So why we can go wrong more lower? Because broken cause and effect. So that's why we confession to the Vinayana, is for the more focus for the Hinayana, like tradition, we can say the Ahats, Buddha Shakyamuni, we use that confession object and purify our negative karma. So negative karma is obstacle, and that's why we cannot go up to Bodhisattva's level. Perception is blocked. So that is like due to our negative karma, we have to follow by cause and effect karma. So this teaching main point is Tiriyanas is in within our body. So we are right now is the first beginning level, and that's the reason the more focus for the lower part of body, and our this negative ordinary perceptions we have to transform or purified, because the negative perception is like negative karma perceptions arise due to our this negative karma. Our conscious is hold in the lower part of body. So that's the reason we have to use practices. The for first beginner level always focus is the Hinayana tradition. So Hinayana is we no need to point like specifically the like followers. So long as our conscious perception in this lower part of body perceptions arising, that moment we are Hinayana. Whatever we say, we are Vajrayana, we can use this different teachings, practice, higher level practice, but still our perception experience is samsara. So karmic imprint is arising. So that's the reason this basic Buddha teaching is cause and effect. We have to destroy negative karma and bring the positive karma to use that, bring positive karma to your conscious go up and arise the the bodhisattva perceptions. So that's why this in prayer different like confessing to the Yadam deities, the broken samaya, that is obstacle to the Vajrayana experience, and this Krong to and the throw level perception. Then we confessing bodhisattva perception. So that is like heart, throat to heart, right? And then we confessing karma, broken create negative karma. So that is like never to the in the sacred level lower part of body. So that's all is like see within our body. So we don't knowing that until some levels we reach the understanding, so that is like kind of more focus for the inner level. So that's the reason, like we talk about our whole body has all these mandalas, not outer level. We knowing inner level mandala, then we have to use outer level mandala. So here is like, teaching can follow either way. So that's the main point of teaching. Okay, so now we're going to do the practice. Money payment home is we have to chant 100. What time is? I think during the teaching you did 100 times. If you're not done, we have to keep that is our homework, okay? Next, then we go to homage. Buddha nature provides all sentient beings. The minds are already perfectly generated as waves and spring. We chant together, all sentient beings without exception are the cause of enlightenment. Hence, there is no sentient being that is not the right vessel. Arise, arise, all deities who have the 10 powers. Without delaying, through the power of great compassion, the three supreme givers with the wisdom intend for benefiting sentient beings. To the place where the offering are arranged and emanated from the mind. Please come here, Buddhas and the retinue without exception. Ocean of gas of all kinds, high and low from the pure realms, arrive and remain in the sky in front. So now we inviting all these beings enlightened to all the lower realm beings in our guests. So first is like here's a page, we say Namo is homage. Buddha nature provide all sentient beings. Buddha nature is provided every single beings. So that is like every single being has opportunity to liberate. So then the mind are already perfect, generated as waves and spring. Every single being has opportunity to meditate and practice enlightened, because everyone has this true nature perfectly. Temporarily we have like obstacle, and due to that they talk about different classes, so different families. If you study the Joe liberation, the Gampopa mentioned about the different these families. The lowest is called broken family. So broken family means like actually use the word broken family, but still there has this Buddha nature, never lost. Why we call broken? Because it's too far away to enlightened. Very hard to arise spiritual energy to the person's mind. So that's why I call broken family. But actually, all this talk about different 5 families, like levels. Not 5 Buddha family. We're talking about the different family, So everyone has this nature. So that's why here mention about every being has like ability to liberate, and every single being has opportunity to listening, teaching. So that's the main point here. Generate and West Spring. All sentient beings without exception are the cause of enlightenment. Hence, there is no sentient beings that is not right vessel. So sometimes we say like, of course, these beings cannot include it. Like example, no right to come to the teaching, no vessel means no ready to receive teachings. So example, like who have very strong perception, Hinayana tradition, so strong fixation. So we say no no vessel to the Mahayana. Who has a very strong fixation to Mahayana, not the right vessel for the Vajrayana. But that is like temporarily talking, not absolutely talking, okay, temporarily obstacle. Truly, is every single being has true right vessel. So that's why here says there is no sentient beings that is not the right vessel. Everyone has right vessel. Truly. Okay. That means also every single being has a true Buddha nature, and the nature is never lost. That person's true nature is. Arise, or deity who have the 10 power. So that's we using the Yidam deity. Without delaying through the power of a great compassion, Yidam deity has a compassion. The three supreme jivas with the wisdom tend for benefit and sentient beings. All these three jivas, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, only thinking about other sentient beings. So who has that quality, bodhicitta, then we offering to them, because they are the object of offering. To this place where the offering are orange and emanated from the mind, so we can create mentally offering. Of course, also we have to create offering is physically too. So physically is very small, tiny. Mental is more, you can create elaborated. Then let's come here, Buddhas and the retinue without exception. So Buddha and the Bodhisattva. Ocean of gas of all kinds, the high and the low, from the pure realms arrive and remain in the sky in front. So all this enlightening, who has a quality, then we bring in our offering gas and the object of the blessing, object of support. So no, this all ahons usually we chant 7 times, blessing the food and blessing the offerings. Then this is like, next is like, this small is the offering goddess of sensual pleasure. So is here is like, offering is like different sensuals, different pleasures, like song and feeling and body sensuals. So that's all the, usually object of attachment. We bring that all sensuals is offering. So that's the reason here. So the offering goddess of sensual pleasure, Zod Dorjema, is the Vajra goddess of form. So all the pleasure form is offering, beautiful form is offering. Who is extremely or beautiful means not only one goddess beautiful object, So that is representative. Actually, all the beautiful object is offering. With melody voice, then song offering. And the fragrance smell, smell offering. And the gentle touch, sensor is offering. In her 2 hands, the carry a vase filled with the practcie of the gods with the 100 tests and emanating countless billowing clouds of offerings. So we bring all this, like this goddess hold this vessel. Inside there has, the nectars. Then use that, blessing. It's become, everything is like offering is increasing. Increasing 100 tests and emanating countless blowing clouds of offerings. So then from the crown arise Buddha Renchiman. So we visualize Buddha Renchiman and visualize our crown and arise Buddha Renchiman, who purify defilements. So this Buddha is purification, defilements. All our offering, we have to purify defilements. Otherwise, like, cannot receive to the enlightened beings, cannot offering, also cannot generosity to others. Defile object, cannot defilement object cannot, offering and generosity to these lower beings, because otherwise they get the obstacle or they get something, like poison kind of like. So that's why we have to, our human beings, also have obstacles. Our human beings obstacle affected to them. So that's why we have to clean up. So defilement in the drossness of the universal and the sentient being with the right hand in the mode of displaying poverty. So then this, Buddha Rinpoche, so he created all these offerings in, it's transformed the offering into a treasury of inexhaustible, veritable pleasure, sensual pleasures. So that's why we chant this Om Namo Savatadagata Bhikkhu is like Buddha Rinpoche monks like mantra. So that means like we create lots of offerings and fed over all the space offering. So now, after mantra here says, see, homage, this homage all is go to, this purification offering to the Vajrayana tradition deities. So we broken samaya. So I already mentioned about, like we talk about the body, like Yadam deity, from to throat. So then step by step, this going to different levels. Vajrayana, Mahayana, Hinayana, Tolowadi, Hinayana. So the confession is one by one. So the main point is here is this three yana is within our body, not somewhere, outside. So when the, our negative karma hold us in samsara, so we need the Vinayana, the Hinayana practice, because the karma have to purify it, use Hinayana practice. So Hinayana means like, negative karma hold us, negative perception we have. And the Mahayana, it's like we don't have enough love and compassion, then we need to practice Mahayana. Vajrayana, we don't have, recognize all the beings are enlightened. We don't have a perception for all form is enlightened, form body. So that's why, we need Vajrayana practice. So now we don't have time to share all the God teaching, but I think main point is I already shared there. So now we're going to chant together. So up to here is a mantra. We have to chant the Tibetan. We already done the English with the teaching together. So go back to the Namo, homage to Buddha nature provides all sentient beings. Go to in the sentence. So I'm going to chant the Tibetan, and you can follow. Same what Chinese followers, Chinese English followers, English, or you wanted to follow with the Tibetan words, or it's your choice. Namo Deshe Nyingben Rowa Yong Lai Chai Sen Ne Jia Jin Cho De Raji De Rowan De Da Ma Le Sang Je Je De Na No Me Sem Je Gang Yang Mi Yin Xie Do Je Nga We La De Lai Men Dai Tu Ji Wang Ge Na Sem Jin Dong Lai Gong Be Gong Jo Song Ye Je Zhe Shen Xiang Ben En De Re Jar Wang Kor Jie Ma Li Shek So So Xin Gang Yang Zong Zhong Re Zhong Men Dam Jie Song Den Jie Nang Ka Re Yu Ba Re Jo Ong A Hong 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 De Wan Den De Yun Je La Mo Zo Dor Je Ma Zi Shen Da Na Do Ba Yang Yin Ba Zhe Shen Ba Riza Jamba Sanyina Laya Dirse Robja Dan Dembe Bamba Namne Chebe Jimbo Pada Mebar Joshen Nuju Nyamja Dan Mobara Dabara Sebe Jizong Ni Sanje Rinje Man Sayen Chejinje Urwa Sershen Den Yongje Longju Seme Jebe Der Jebara Jor Nama Sawa Dadanga Deba Yombe Yombe Gebe Sarva Diganga De Savarena Emengangam Kamzoha Nama Sarva Dadanga Ba Yombe Yombe Gebe Sarva Diganga De Savarena Emengangana Kamzo Nama Sarva Dadanga Daba Yombe Yombe Gebe Sarva Diganga De Savarena Emengangana Kamsoha. So now we're going to chant the English. To all of the sacred lamas who have come from the Dharmakaya, Samanda Bada down to my Kanru Lama in the lineage of the wisdom mind, symbolic and oral transmission, and of Nayana, Sutra, Jumtur, same, the accomplishment category, the accomplishments, and the outer and inner tantaras. And to the countless conceivable deity, example of the three outer, inner, and other mandala of the Kala Chakra, I make these offerings, restoring the wisdom, awakeness, orders, vows, and the sacred commitments from the faults and the mistakes that have been made. Grant me the supreme and ordinary accomplishment without exception, I pray. Go back to Tibetan. Namo Jiga Ganda Zangbo Ne Jinjen Zawe Lame Barde Zumbe Gunda Ninju Je Lama Tamba Mazangwa Meba Namdan Deba Rimba Ge Dojo Samsung Drupde Kabje Jude Sanang Tijang Kolo Sanang Yin Somje Jin Koro Je Lazo Tamye Changme Balam Bolo Na ke ren zhen je dong ba dang dang zhe la ni be jung song wa dang je se re jung ne jo dan de mong nu zho ma le ba zar de so on a hong. So that's all is Vajrayana deities and Tantra teachings, and the darkness way of confessing to the Samaya groupings. And now is this one is next is like also the confessing. Actually all this each like our body chakras sacred level has all different deities mandalas, we not knowing that. So that's why this confession to all this darkness through the on our home, through the ultra vessel, the universe, the nature of the five great mothers, through the inner contents, thinking beings, the city of powers, and the Kandromas, through the glorious Dorje Pamo, the protectors of the 24 sacred places, the 33 sacred bodies, the 8 channel grounds, and the celestial and the treasurer realms, to Mother of Buddhas, Dorje Namjorma, Trimanamo, and the Singdongma, to Kulakula and the Uzarjima, Shirideva and the Lakshmi, to the air goddess of auspiciousness, Tronyarjima and Rituma, to the Great Mother and so on, the goddess of sacred mantra power, mantra and the Dharani mantra, I make these offerings, restore all impairments of my sacred commitments, and unobstructed enact the four element activities, may intense suffering of separation not arise at the time of death, but the goddess and the concert of the path. Tibetan. Om Ahom. Nun ji de yong a ye rang yin nang ju sem jin pa wo kan ji zhong qir yor ni xie za ye ne sem jie za ni de zhu jian bo jie pa ju dan sa ju jie da guo par den dor jie pa mo jia yong dor jie nam jie ma chi ma nam mo dan sing ge dong ji ge re ge le dan wo zhe jin par dan nor jiu ma 다시 제 라모제 본여를 제다 르주마 용체모 라소데 상하다 링아 종아제 라모 난람볼로 나게 담제 냠자 담제간 틀렌 안바제 도미든 주바다 제가르네 주제 동아르 문종 람나단 스만 제도소 so that's all the the secret darkness and confession. The reason is like this element is Buddha, but we don't knowing that when we share the the Pardo hearing liberation teaching. So we have 5 elements, 5 aggregates. So 5 afflictive emotion. This actually everything is enlightened, but we not knowing that, and that's why confessing to all the secret, this Vajrayana, the secret deities. Next is Bodhisattva. To the Buddha's glory of joy and so on. On the 1,002 Buddhas of the fortunate net eons, led by the conqueror Shakyamuni, to Socha, Dipankara, Namzeg, and so on, the Buddhas of the 3 towns, to Satriputa, Rahula, and so on, the Shavakas, the Sanghas of the 4 peers or 8 separate ones, to the 2 kinds of Pakshika Buddhas, and to the 16 great eaters and the conceivable ahar retinue, make these offerings by the restoring the individual liberation vow from all faults and being free from the 3 lower ranks and the states that are not free, may I attain the state of the Shavaka and the Pakshika Buddhas. So that's the actually the Vinayana, Hinayana confession. On Ahong, Tibeti, Chomden, the Shakya, Tibet, Zong, Garba, Zambi, Sanje, Donzani, Sanje, Gabe, Palaso, Sokya, Marmen, Zeta, Namze, Lasso, Bati, Somje, Sanje, Chozong, Dachin, Zen, Lasso, Yente, Gend, Zugja, Yabje, Ran Sanje, Rainy, Nedin, Jimbo, Jodron, Koda, Jimbo, So Samje, Bacha, Badang, Jeba, Namlam, Bolo. Daga sosoro tape domba dan garwa tamje soro chun nei song song dan me kong be nere le tarde nirang ra chung be kong bang do para choro che. Next is Bodhisattvas, confession to Bodhisattvas. On Ahong. To a Bodhisattvas led by the Salam Manjeshiri, to Dorje Nimbo, Lodi, Mazepa, and so on, the 16 Bodhisattvas of the fortunate eons, and the Chimpa, Tadango, and so on. The countless example of Bodhisattvas are make these offerings. By perfect purifying all wrongfalls that I have committed without exception, as talked in the Bodhisattva's teachings, may there not be any obstacle on the path of the Mahayana. Go to the Tibetan. Hong A Hong, Papan Jamparajan, Song Sancho, Sembe, Genden, Yeve, Se, Je. Dorje Nimbo Dan Lodi Mazeba Lazo Ba Garzanga Zamba Chidro Chimba Dan Taden Lazo Sanjo Zembe Zoba Dan Neba Nam Lambolo Daga Sanjo Zembe Denole Songwe Tongwa Nyamson Yongwa Dada Lami De Zane Tikpa Chimpi Lamla Barje Me Bar George. Next is a confession to the or the Dharma protectors, Dharma guardians on our home, to the mother, protector, sister, and brothers, Dharma palas, who have accomplished this state either through wisdom or karma, to the 75 glorious protectors and the male and the female hated ones, to the divas, nagas, land deities, and the guardians of all the place, and to the genuine protectors of this world and the snowy mountains who nourish this accomplishment of virtue, whose names and letters that have not been mentioned here. I make these offerings. Protect all the teachings of the Buddhas, praise the glory of the three jewels. Let far the rain into the realm of the world on time. Pacify disease, female war, and strife. Protect us as yogin from the obstacle of accomplishing the Dharma and performing our patron, shelter, and clothing. Tibetan, on our home. 一息当来来之辈，即将忙工将得办公定节咱这把破旧莫旧拉来也来也的，让不领当干净那那边给你个所就，每年今年马东把当节浪多路，当节节等把送公交个往旁堵。 Chỉ tin cho cảm cho chờ chờ tí sở phốp này mong trục tụ sор nằm chờ bà đào chờ chỉ đưa về bảo chế xong những đa đa này mà làm gì đó so on a home. So all the spirits, local, goddess, local gods, different kind of beings we offering, also part of generosity too. Furthermore, through the example of gods, nagas, human, Burmans, and Rakshas, and accomplish the words of truth. To the Yakshas, Jambala, the innately arising deity, the five gods of the below the lineage. To the god of home, the god of fields, and so forth, and the gods that generate God, luck, power, and worth. And to the gods of the four elements, mountains and forests are offered these offerings. Please perform the support to develop my excellence and virtue, I pray. Tibetan. On a home yin yang la le ma dang zhang zi zhang zong deng zai zhi be co nei jin zang ba la lin ji ji be la go we la nga chim la dang xing la la zo kar jie dang wang dang ji be la yong wa jie dang ra dang na zar jie la nang lang bo lo na ge lik ba dang kar bo so dang jie ji be dong zhong zai de so. On a home, the king of the Gandhava, the horse head one, the Gandhava Ravga who crow for songs and dance, to all types of malicious negative beings, starting with the category of non-human beings who live in between the sky and the earth, to the different types of karmic creators who are attached to the deaths of the flesh, to the 500 mother and children yakshas, and to the example of the 80,000 kinds of obstacles, I make these offerings. Don't be negative or cause harm. Don't rob good life, power, and wealth. Give up grudge and previousness. Tibetan. On a home to the Yarbo, Jumba, Dango, Jindang, Ladang, Gala, Zibe, Zaraga. Mamje, Tonje, Banala, Nejebe, Dazinja, Donja, Risa, Jirba, Tamje, Dan, Lenja, Jagon, Jabere, Toma, Mawang, Abjagere, Tonra, Jeja, Danje, Solan, Dolo, Dondan, Nomba, Manze, Garje, Dan, Wandama, Ringadan, Dozo, Bonje, on Ahong. Particularly to the 6 types of sentient beings, or the 5 classes of beings, to all kinds of guests of compassion, subsumed with the category of the 4 avenues of birth, the 2 classes of hungry gods, all are poor and destitute. Those who left their previous body either has morning or yesterday or last week, last month, last year, and so on, and who haven't yet acquired a body, and those who are frightened in the perceptions part of the intermediate state of existence without a refuge and protection. Those who have no protector or powerful companion. Those who have no previous accumulation of merit or support. Those who virtue have its later. Those who are gathered within the four names aggregates. Those who are feeling is the nature of suffering. Those tormented by terrifying, frightening illusions. Those beaten by cold, hunger, and thirsty. Those whose lifespans are indefinite. Those who are blown away like a feather in the wind. Intermediate and to the dedicated all the Pardo beings and those sentient beings in the intermediate state who have no power to go anywhere. I make these offerings. May the encounter in excellent home, company, word, food, drink, and become happy and relaxed. Becoming so and intermediate meeting with the Salam Chenrezig and the Bodhisattva Drapanam Drapanam sir is Nirvanara Vishakambu. May the recognize Pardo and share confused perception. And remember the Lama, the three jivers, the Yadam, and the vows. Views purify the obscuration of negative karma and in instant may they achieve the power in Ripa. May they be able to traverse immediately into the extraordinary pure land, Devachi, Pemao, and so forth. May the Buddha be placed with the offerings. May the wisdom mind of the outbound protectors be fulfilled. May the desire of sentient beings be satisfied. May the karmic death and blood and flesh be repeated. All the three realms are pure lines. All three existences are the guests of great compassion. The all encompassing substance without exception. Through the blessing of the power of true nature. May beings enjoy the exhaustible treasure of sensual pleasures. Go back to Tibetan. Page 86 actually, this sadhana. Om Ahom. Che parada droar dro lam ju nga. Jine namba yi dibe ninje dronda jirba damje dang. Vorjen bumbara jirba yada desin ni. Tarzan taneng san aneng loda shatene mame ledin bur. Sime ledin mani sekba pardon nyanga wen chang. Jabdang joba mebang gondang bunye meba. Ninja saja meba geve ramda nyungwa. Mingye ndipe pongbo. Towa dungaraje rangjin jikan chananga narwa jado gongsong gedong. Setse lang iba meba saro longge diba yen. Kandro rawang dang trawe bardo semjin chegwe mo zoro se. Bardo neba damje lambo lo. Nedro longju zadong pingsong soba dang ten. Pape para jorje dedar jirpe me. Pagwa Chenrezig dang sanjo sembe driba namsaran. Bardo la bardo in barangoshi chanang jed. Lama dang gongjo yadam tawa jise ching. Lengenbe driba keje la tame rikpa la rawang top. Dewa jindang pemo la sobe jingam jing zembar zon drone bar shoje. Jarwan jebe ni joroje. Tam jing todang kan joroje. Redro doba zem joroje. Lencha bolong ko joroje. Kamsong dabe shen sipsong tukjindo. Male chape se. Chinye nipente. Denyo mezebe de la longje bara jorje. Dikwa jeyang meza yen gewang bensong tobar. Range semne yongson den dene sanje denba yen. The last verses English. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions. Engage in the excellent virtues. Calm your mind completely. Calm. This is the teaching of the Buddha. So now we go to main sadhana Chenrezig. This sadhana, we are in the page 17. Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum, Om mani padme hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. So now it's dissolution. All the enlightened beings dissolve to us. So we're going to dissolution prayer. Page 17, bottom of the page 17. At the end of the session, visualize that all world and beings dissolve into you. When you becoming light and dissolve into the shell, which is time, becomes free from reference point. Rest in the state as long as you can, and when a thought appears, think that you are again become Arya Avalokiteshvara. By this virtue arising from the meditation and recitation Arya Avalokiteshvara, may all the negative and obscurations in the mind stream of myself and all beings be purified, and maybe become one test with Arya Avalokiteshvara's body, speech, and mind. So we're going to chant that section Tibetan. Bottom of page 17. Ten sai no ju ran de ran ye jiang, wu ju re de ding a ming ming a, chen ne ya jian zhou war ji ba na, la ya ran ye ba be gu ji re zang, de da ran pa ba gom de le zong wei, ge wan de ye da dan zhou gen jie, ju la yu be de zhe gen zang ne, pa be ge zong do dan ro jie zhou. So we can skip the page 20 and 21. Go to the page 22. So actually page 23. By this Mary, may I safely attain the realization of the Avalokiteshvara, and having done so, may I lead every living being without the less exception to the self-same state. Om Benzara Sato Samaya Mani Balaya Benzara Sato Dinoba Didandro Meba Sute Kayo Mebawa Anerado Mebawa Sarvai Side Minjayanza Sarvai Karma Isizai Me Sidan Shiyang Guru Aha O Bangave Sarva Dadangada Benzara Mame Men Benzarabama Samaya Sadoa. So now we go to the page 25. And page 25, we do the English speakers chant English, and the Chinese speakers chant Chinese. Tibetan speakers chant Tibetan, okay? So now we need here is English reader. Is okay, I can see here is EDG, you read the English, and Shirab, please chant the Chinese, and I'm going to chant the Tibetan. So I'm going to mute, EDG is unmute, okay? And then Shirab going to chant the Chinese.
Okay. So, the times of bliss gone one's Dharmakaya, Chenrezig, who looks on all beings of 6 realms, 11-faced, pervasive like space, to splendorous Amitabha I bow. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Do I keep going or what?
Yes, you have to keep going or to finish the prayer.
Oh, all right.
Thanks.
May unequaled guide, able Shakya, ocean of 10 directions, victors and sons, Kalgulamas like clouds of offerings, manifest through the core 6 syllables. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. May past Buddha's intent made complete, future Buddha's gathered accumulations, and present Buddha's steadfast long life manifest through the core 6 syllables. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Joined by karmic parents and teachers and every friend and dear kin I depend on, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Illness, foes, threats to life, and demons arisen from lust, anger, and confusion. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Kind patrons who ask to be thought of, male and female patrons we should not forget. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Those who give to Lama and Sangha, and those who rely on offerings and faith food, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Evil kings, courts, subjects, and bad folk who are ill-willed, deceptive, and shameless ones, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Doors of 10 non-virtues, 5 acts, the close 5 wrongdoings and all evil deeds. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Those deceased whose names have been given, all who've passed for whom we've taken food offerings. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Those we've heard have died or have seen die, and all those excluding none who've left this world, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Death by knives, famine, height, or drowning, virtueless, sinless, wanderers of bardos, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Kind Mother Dree, drinkers of milk, and all beings who eat flesh and blood, excluding none, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Slowed by loads, creatures we beat and ride, if who won't go with nose rope must plow and plow. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Usong calm, Nagre, and the whole world, all continents and subcontinents under the sun. Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Those among the 5 force elements, all beings coarse or subtle with forms or formless, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Hell beings, pretas, animals, asuras, gods, and humans, all the beings of the 3 realms, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. All beings of the 10 directions, realms, without limit, infinite, and fathomless, Lord Chenrezig, guide them on the path. Bless them to be born in Dewa Chen. Om Mani Padme Hum Re. Emaho, marvelous. In the center is the Buddha Amitabha, boundless light. To his right is Chenrezig, the Lord of great compassion. And to his left is the Bodhisattva Vajrapani, the Lord of great power. They are surrounded by an inconceivable assembly of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Extraordinary limitless peace and happiness is the Buddha field called bliss endowed. When I and all beings pass from this life, may we be born there, unhindered by another samsaric birth. Once born there, may we behold the face of the Buddha Amitabha, boundless light. By the power of all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in the 10 directions, bless me that I may attain this aspiration without hindrance. Teata Pansadriya Awa Bodhanaya Soha. May Buddha, the excellent and precious mind, arise where it has not been. Where it has arisen, may it not decline, but ever increase higher and higher.
Thank you, Idiji. And Noah chant this word prayers Tibetan, so you can chant the English, Chinese. Jamne leme gonjo zawa zonje bara ganjen gombo Chenrezig jezen roman guru be manjo sorwan de zo do dan yarji gomon lan yongzen de bara zinji lo nindin rona zanjara lo ba dan sanang jongwa chokbe jijin jen harma tabe mazo daryamne Zale jardon nazon jumbezer Sase sekson lonye manto zu Charche menyon zamling sadon ting Sayo medran jung yen jibadang Chebara ten la zeven tamai zo Zamling chung de no zi ren tada Nyorde she yen zene jom joroje Madame men rowan tadai July Sanjo Senjo Ramboje Nange Jine Noze Samjarajar Penson Sambe Sendang Dine Jang Zamling Tawe Deji Barjenjor Sanje Demba Darje Yune Jo Sasong Java Seje Dembedo Fonde Geve Zawa Ganji Dang Daja Lasan Nambara Gavente Soda member Deven Dev Joroje Semje Neba Jinye Wan Yordan Ele Tajoroje Rowen Enamale Aden Jungwa Me Barajo May this virtue by this virtue may achieve the all knowing state and by defeating all enemies confusion, the cause of suffering. May all who traverse on the waves of birth, old age, sickness, and death across the ocean of samsara. The order to turn just like the hero Manjushri who knows reality as it is. And just like Samantha as well, I completely dedicate all this goodness, just as they did. By the blessing of the Buddha who attained the Trikayas, by the blessing of the truth of the unchanging. Unchangingless nature, by the blessing of the indivisible example of the Sangha, may these prayers be accomplished as I have dedicated. By this virtue, accomplishments of the three realms of my seven all beings in samsara and nirvana. And by this rule of virtue, may I all sentient beings safely attain and surpass perfect, complete, and precious enlightenment. Om Mani Padme Hum, 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 Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum, Om Mani Padme Hum. Thank you, everyone. So we finish today whole program. So maybe you get a little bit big noises in the background, but it's no choice. this is the best space I can stay. Okay. Hope everyone okay there. Tashi Delek, and thank you all. See you tomorrow. So we have tomorrow Varja Sava with Sancho Ritual Sadhana practice. So Sancho Ritual is only I just share tomorrow teaching, like explain, but we're not going to do the ritual ceremony. I mean, otherwise like need lots different kind of special object. So I don't have anything with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kempo. Thank you, Sangha.
Thank you so much, Kempo.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sangha.
Gracias. Thank you, arigato.
Thank
you. Thank you, organizers.
Thank you, Kempo.
Daniela and everyone. Beautiful.
Thank
you,
you all
Sangha.
organizers.